Welcome back. Clocks on the Stove, episode 114. We got a big UFC card this weekend. UFC 296, Leon Edwards defending his welterweight title of the world versus Colby Covington in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Our co-main event, another world title at the flyweight. Alexander Pantoja will be defending his belt. I believe this is his first defense, I think, versus Brandon Royval.
Royval, yeah.
Royval.
Or just Royval. I don't know.
I don't know, but I think this is Pantoja's first defense. Yeah, it is. Another interesting fact. This is the last pay-per-view of the year. So might be the last card of the year too, to be completely honest. Yeah, it's the last card of the year. Banger of a card. Before we dive into it, it wouldn't be a big UFC card if it wasn't for something bad happening, Zach. You know?
Yeah.
And something bad has happened. Ian Garry was supposed to fight teammate Vicente Luque on the main card, and Ian Garry is pulled out because of pneumonia. Now, as you know, or if you don't know, Ian Garry has been the talk of MMA world for the past month. Okay? And a lot of interesting things have come out about Ian Garry. First, his wife has been in sports media for a very long time and has hung out and been seen in public and in photos with a lot of high caliber athletes and more in particular fighters. Ian Garry is one of the youngest fighters on the UFC roster. He is, I believe, 26, maybe 27. He might even be 25, but I think he's 26. His wife is 40.
Yikes.
That's a lot. That's a big difference, you know? Also, his wife, this is factual. Everything I've stated so far is not opinionated. This is factual. His wife wrote a book that you can find on Amazon called How to Be a Wag, which is basically how to trick a wealthy person into marrying you. And
I thought WAG stands for wife and girlfriend.
Yeah, so well, the book is on how to get an athlete. Yeah, maybe it is what that is. But the book is on how to marry an athlete, like how to get an athlete to like marry you. And Dylan Dennis posted DMs with her that she slid in his DMs a long time ago. There's a lot going on with Ian Garry. A lot of people coming out calling him an asshole. Neil Magny talks about how he's fighting for custody for his kids, and he made him look like a bad guy. There's a lot. No one's really been on the Ian Garry side, and then he already came out and was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna beat the media pressure. I don't know if it feels safe for my family. And then he doesn't go, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, we saw this coming. Like this guy's a he's a softie," and backs out of the whole fight altogether because of pneumonia. Take it as you want, but the MMA world has definitely became a big Ian Garry hater, and he is not getting any love for this pneumonia incident.
Yeah, well, Ian Garry, first of all, the fact that he tried to put his own stamp on himself, saying like he was the next McGregor. McGregor would never miss a media day in his entire life. Ever.
He can have pneumonia.
Yeah, he could have pneumonia and he'd still be at that presser. I can promise you that. But look, here's the thing. Dana did confirm that he had not only pneumonia, but the flu as well. So apparently he had both. Apparently he had the flu first and then it turned into pneumonia. All right. Damn, that's crazy. But I don't even care that much because the thing that really stood out to me is if they do reschedule this fight, let's say for the next fight card, he's going to have to be on Sean Strickland's fight card.
Yeah, I know.
In Canada. And Sean Strickland is going to absolutely destroy this man on an open mic. If he ever shows up, Sean Strickland will make sure, because this is honestly where it all started. Sean Strickland released that video where he was pretty much saying Ian, I'm not mad at you. He's like, I think you're a victim. He goes, it's not your fault. You fell into some pussy that was a little too good for you. Now a succubus has taken over your life. He goes, I'm sorry. And then he started first of all, the fact that the first information I feel like anyone found out about Ian Garry was, oh, he took his wife's last name instead of his wife taking his. And then you're like, interesting move. but you do you. Then you find out that your wife's ex-husband is your nutritionist and he has you on a vegan diet. Interesting.
And
Then,
the last name
and it's his last name. Yeah.
It's his last name.
And then you find out they all live together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like now you're starting to get a clearer picture here. Things start falling into place. I think
Garry has his wife's ex-husband's last name. His wife's ex-husband lives in his house and is his vegan nutritionist.
ain't no recovering from that one.
All Ian Garry had to do was not talk shit, and nobody would have dug this deep. But when you talk that much, honestly, you kind of got to give props to Colby because, like, people have definitely been digging to find stuff on him, and I haven't seen anything, like, big pop up yet.
Nothing.
Yeah, like, even McGregor had stuff.
It's because it's because Colby knows he goes, I know people are out to get me. Like, I have to be, like,
Perfect.
crisp,
Yeah.
perfect. Like, I think he knows that pretty well. The problem with Ian Garry is
he's a kid, bro. He's a kid.
Yeah, nah. Oh my god.
And now that we're talking about it, that is crazy because whenever somebody gets big in any sport, something comes out, especially when they talk a lot of smack.
Yeah.
And
unless you're LeBron James.
But LeBron, but nothing has came out on Colby, and there's so many people definitely looking. But there's a rumor. So this gets announced. Kevin Holland is all for it. He's all for it. He's like, give me it. I want it. Let's bang. Let's fight. Let's do this. And he wants it at 180. Vicente Luque was like, I don't know. And then he was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. From my knowledge, the UFC would have done it like 24 hours before weigh-ins, and they did not publicly. But there is a chance that they could just sneakily have brought Kevin Holland.
Look, this is all I'll say. If they were able to pull the switcheroo with Kevin Holland and Hamzat and Nate Diaz, and I forgot who else he fought, and Tony, what are we doing? Like, and the fact that Dana was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's never happened. First of all, Hamzat already came out and said pretty much that, like, I was forced to miss weight. Got caught slipping up saying that. You had to go to social media and be like, address like the rumors. Like, if you would have not addressed the rumors, I feel like you kind of would have gotten away with it a little bit. But because you came out and were like, if you think any of us were able to get a deal in less than 24 hours and like forcing guys to miss weight, like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like the pieces don't fall into place that easily, brother. I don't think it works as easy as you say it does. But regardless, I think at any given point, dude, they could just do it WWE style. Like, Kevin Holland could literally show up and just walk out and be like, yeah, sorry, we didn't have a fight tonight, so we're going to let so-and-so speak or whatever, like, do his call-outs. And then Kevin Holland just, like, has a huge grand entrance. They play his theme song, and he just comes and fights. Like, I feel like
that would be sick. That would be sick.
Yeah. But then it'd be the WWE at that point.
Yeah, it would. But I was telling Zach this earlier. You got to give the BMF belt to Kevin Holland. And I would say the runner-up is Bobby Green. They fight anybody on any given notice, dude. That's straight up gang. Like, that's a fighter. That's not an athlete. That's a gangster, bro. Like, they will fight any. Cowboy used to do that. The Diaz brothers are known for that too. Like, they don't care who it is or when we'll fucking fight, man. Like, they're down for it. I would love to see Kevin Holland do it. I don't think it happens. I doubt it happens.
Yeah. Nah. Is there any other news?
No, I was gonna dive into the card.
Yeah. Honestly, let's just get right to it.
Let's dive into our card. UFC 296, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, Saturday night, December 16th. Just give a special shout out. Dude, second fight on the whole card of the opening prelims. Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. That's a banger of a fight, dude. It's a banger of a fight. Lucas Almeida 14-2. You have Andre Fili. He's from Uriah Faber's camp, Team Alpha Male. He's a dog. He's been in the UFC for like 15, 16 fights, 32 fights under him. That's going to be a certified banger. Another fight. This fight got bumped, actually, I believe, because of the situation. Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. This fight is hilarious, by the way, because Brian Kelleher's whole career is calling out guys he can't fight, and then like very occasionally one of the lesser guys that's like he shouldn't fight him, but he will fights him and whoops his ass, and then he just keeps doing it. And Cody used to be one of those guys. He used to be one of the guys like dude, I'm the champ or like I'm the number one, like get out of here. And he's fallen so hard that he's actually fighting him now. And it sucks. I don't want to make fun of Cody. I love Cody, dude. I was a huge Cody fan. I still am a Cody fan. But it's like, dude, that's the biggest. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened ever in the UFC, in my opinion.
No, I'm not even kidding. For 25 minutes against Dominic Cruz, he was the greatest fighter on earth.
Yeah, ever.
Greatest
He
fighter.
was winning both TJ fights before he got knocked out too.
Yep.
And then just went. I don't know, dude. I don't. It's crazy because it was funny because like there was a point where Sean was calling him out, and he's like, "Bro, you're nothing," and now he's trying to call Sean out. That's crazy, bro.
Yep. Evil world, man. Evil world.
I do think Cody's the better fighter, but I'm gonna be honest. I think Brian wins. I think Brian's not technical. He's ugly and he brawls, and that's like Cody's worst nightmare. And I think he's gonna catch him. It's. I love Cody, dude. He's just done. Like he's done. He needs to go to the PFL. Like go get a restart somewhere.
Do you think there's any way he could perform to a level where you'd be like, all right, he still got it, or like he can
His
still
chin,
fight?
it's his chin now, dude. His chin's been rocked a lot.
Yeah. I feel like once you're
Also, what was the other thing to say? Also, it's his mind, dude. Talent wise, he's the best. He's unbelievable. But his mind is so bad. He fights too emotional, and then when he tries to fight with no emotion, he's not as aggressive, and he gets picked apart. Like Rob Font picked him apart.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, before we get to the main card, another shout out. Shout out Dustin to Kobe versus Alonzo. Men feel that's a great fight. Our feature prelim of the night. Now let's dive into why we're really here. Opening up the pay-per-view card, a featherweight matchup between Josh Emmett coming in at 18-4-0 plus 185 underdog, facing Bryce Mitchell minus 225 coming in at 16-2 on a 2 weeks notice. Who is he replacing again?
Are you sure this was a villain? Who was Bryce Mitchell supposed to be?
Who was Josh Emmett supposed to fight? Josh Emmett had another. Oh, this is upsetting to me so much.
Oh, Giga Chikadze?
Yeah, I think that's who it was, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Josh Emmett and Giga Chikadze.
Yeah, and then Giga. Yeah, right. All right, so Giga gets hurt. 2 week notice. Bryce Mitchell takes it. Dog move. I believe this is Josh Emmett's retirement fight as well, if I'm not mistaken. Zach, I'm gonna let you start off with this. What are we thinking about this fight?
What was Bryce Mitchell's last fight?
I'm pretty sure he got. Did he not get mopped by Tapori? No, he beat Danny Ige in UD.
His unanimous decision. Oh yeah, because he did the whole like Bible preach.
Yeah, he did the Bible thing. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did.
Regardless, though, I think people need to realize prior to running into Ilya Topuria, who, by the way, is about to fight for the title, I think people need to realize what kind of like hot streak this kid was on. I believe he's like 2 of the 3 only like what was it, twisters?
Yeah, in the UFC history.
In the UFC history. So this dude's jiu-jitsu is top tier. I mean, he's an Arkansas boy. He's corn-fed. He's a nice conservative boy. I can tell you that.
He's been on a tear, dude. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7-1 in his last 8.
Yeah, dude is a problem. Unfortunately, Josh Emmett is coming off, I believe, back-to-back losses.
Yeah,
and that's not good. It's hard to get back in that winning way. It's hard to get back to your winning ways, especially against a guy like Bryce Mitchell. Good thing going for Josh Emmett. He kind of has nuclear bombs for hands. He likes to throw nukes. So if Bryce can get caught by one of those, I'm afraid that may be the end of the fight. Unfortunately, if Bryce gets it to the ground, it may get a little ugly.
Yeah, we saw Josh. There was so much hype train behind Josh Emmett, and then he got dismantled his last 2 fights. Yair bodied him, and then Topuria put on a clinic. But I mean, dude, who hasn't Topuria put a clinic on? He put a clinic on Bryce Mitchell too.
Oh yeah, no, I remember watching that because I was so high on Bryce. I'm like, bro, Bryce gonna cruise like no issue, and Topuria beat the shit out of him, and
Yeah. And you're
I was
like,
like,
oh my gosh.
I was
And
like,
then
who?
Paddy Pimblett went from calling Topuria out to be like, yeah, we're good.
And he's like, I don't want to do that anymore. No,
Yeah.
no smoke, no smoke. No, but dude, I don't think there's any division in the world quite like this one. Sorry, because like I feel like when I watch other divisions, for example, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Islam, and all them, I feel like maybe not any given day, but like I feel like in fights they're kind of 50-50. But like with this division, oh excuse me, in the featherweight division, Volk's clearly better than Yair. I don't think Yair is better than Max.
Max beat him.
Yeah. So it's Yair, or sorry, Volk, Max, Yair, and then the rest of them. And it's like, it's so clear, like who's better than who. Like it's not like you can go into a fight now and be like, oh yeah, Yair has a chance against Max. It's like absolutely not. Max goes in a fight, Volk, absolutely not. It's just like you know who the definitive placements are in that division. But like if you
literally when Topuria was talking shit, Volk was like, please don't fight Max.
Yeah,
He was
begging
like,
begging
yeah,
him.
if you fight Max, I'm never gonna fight you.
Yeah, and dude, I know what people are saying about Volk. They're saying like, oh, he's coming off back-to-back losses, and Topuria is just like a weapon or whatever. I'm like, there's a reason why Volk is trying to save Topuria because he knows he can. Because dude, what hasn't Volk seen from his division? He's seen the best of the best wrestling wise. He's seen the best of the best with the strikers. Like, dude, you literally cannot beat him in his own weight.
He got caught. He fought a short notice fight versus Islam and got caught, and he won the first one.
Yeah. So,
but let's give our prediction. I'm gonna be honest. Even though it's short notice, I think I'm gonna go Bryce. I think that he is more technical. I think Josh Emmett's gonna rely on trying to knock him out too much, and Bryce is gonna win. Probably, maybe a boring fight, but he's gonna win.
yeah, give me Bryce by sub. Sorry, Bryce by sub.
Yeah, I could see that. Our next fight, this one's gonna suck. Tony Ferguson coming at 26-9-0, plus 225 underdog, fighting Paddy Pimblett, 20 wins, 3 losses, our minus 320 favorite. This is the other half of my social media that hasn't been about Ian Garry has been about Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson did part of his fight camp with David Goggins, and it's basically just like a highlight reel of Tony throwing up a bunch of times. So David Goggins is also supposed to be in his corner. So when there's like a dead moment in the fight, you're just gonna hear, "Who's carrying the boats?" And Tony's just gonna turn into a machine. Paddy, on the other hand, it's weird because he kind of fell off out of nowhere. Like he was this huge hype train for the UFC. Barstool was in him, like everybody was all in. Then he gets that weird decision with Jared Gordon, and it's just nothing. Yeah, you hear nothing. And it is weird. I think he had surgery, if I'm not mistaken, also. And then the thing is, like, he said it best. It doesn't make sense why he took this fight. It's a lose-lose. He beats Tony, Tony's washed, and he loses, he lost to a washed Tony. So I don't really understand why this fight got put together. The only reason it really makes sense to me is the UFC wants to baptize Tony, or they were like, let's just stack 2 guys who have huge followings together. That I can't really see like because beating Tony doesn't move Paddy in the rankings.
Yeah. Honestly, the way that I see this going, I think this is just a Dana White move, and he typically does this to his older guys that I've noticed. I feel like he has conversations with them behind the door being like, hey, man, like, we don't want to fire you, but we want to, like, mutually agree to part ways, and we'll just, like, agree, like, you'll retire, like, that'll be it. And Tony's like, I still got more fights in me. And Dana knows he can't cut him. He knows in his mind, he's like, fuck, that'll look so bad if I cut this guy. Like, I really can't do
he's
that.
done too much. He's bringing too much money too.
Yeah, he's like, I can't cut him for what he's done for our company. Like, no one knows. So he's like, instead, I'm just gonna make him an absolute laughing stock.
I was gonna get him killed, like actually killed.
Yep. He's like, he's just throwing him. He's literally a sacrificial lamb to whoever he wants. He's like, all right, you'll just serve as like my like feet, like my goat sacrifice to the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Like, that's all it is. Like, that's the only way I see this fight getting made. And he just told Paddy, he was like, hey, you're going to dominate this fight. It's going to look good for you, regardless of how good Tony actually is. And you can just coast on to your next fight. No problem. And Paddy was probably like, I'll do it. So, obviously, I don't even care anymore if Tony wins or loses. Like, bro, just hang him up. Like, I'm so sick of it.
First of all, 6 wins and a title shot, brother. I want Tony to win. If Tony wins, the MMA world will go nuts. But I don't see any. I think Tony wins the first round, and then like he gives every inch and ounce of his body left.
Dude, he looked good against Bobby Green, though.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
against Bobby Green.
He's gonna win the first round, and then it's gonna be GG's.
Yeah, maybe he's trying.
By the way, can we talk about how active Bobby Green is as a fighter? He fought Tony, then he knocked out Grant Dawson, and they just fought Jalen Turner again.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
That dude's a problem.
I think Paddy wins by decision.
Yeah, I don't see him finishing him. Not a chance.
I don't either. He's not a better grappler than Tony either. This is probably the most interesting matchup on the card.
Time out. I wonder if David Goggins, the whole training with Paddy was like some Winter Soldier shit, and he just gives him like a code word in the 3rd round.
And he controls him like a video game.
Oh my god, he's like real stealing it behind him. He's like, wait.
He's bobbing and weaving.
Tony starts screaming dogs about him.
Even over there, he's like holding a boat in the air.
Tony just starts doing log carries in between rounds. They're like, what is Tony doing? They're like, he's carrying the logs.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at Tony's age, that's just overtraining, personally.
Yeah, hey, brother, I'm learning here.
Yeah.
Relax.
Going on to our featured fight. At welterweight, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov coming in at a minus 650, 17-0, perfect record. Fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 17-6-1, a plus 450, a former title challenger. Stephen Thompson said he's giving it one more last run for the title, and then he'll call it quits. Shavkat has been avoided by literally everybody in the division except Jeff Neal. Shout him out. He's training at Killcliff, Sanford, whatever you want to call it. Wonderboy's out somewhere in the I don't know exactly where Wonderboy's at. Somewhere in the Carolinas, maybe. I don't know.
He's in America.
Yeah, in America, brother. But this fight's interesting. It's very interesting because if you're Stephen Thompson, you're at the end of your career. You stated you want one more run. Why do you take this man? Does he see holes in his game? Now, Shavkat has been nothing but a murdering machine, which we agree on. But Jeff Neal showed holes in his game. He rocked him, he pieced him up a little, and he took him down. And stopped his takedowns. So, did Wonderboy see that fight and was like, I think I can do what Jeff Neal did? Like, I don't understand why, if you're Wonderboy, this is the guy you want to start your journey back.
I think this is a risky move by Wonderboy, but in like full disclosure here, I truly believe Wonderboy sees this as an opportunity to fast track his title run. Because like against any other fighter, it would probably need to be like 3-4 more fights before he gets a title shot. He beats Shavkat. He beats Shavkat, excuse me. He immediately gets another top contender, and then he's probably fighting for a title. That's 3 fights in a title fight versus like 4 and then a title fight. You get what I'm saying? So like Tim, I think he understands how good of a fighter Shavkat is. There's a reason the hype train's on him. But like, he's already kind of fought the other guys in the division. There really would be no like one to immediately schedule. But if he beats Shavkat, it's like, dude, he's got it. Like he's right there. Like we gotta respect it.
He's put all his chips in. He's like, if this hits, it's gonna be big. But if we're done, we're done.
Yep, and I fully respect it. That's way better than what anyone else does. I promise. Like that is the best option.
Well, time is not on his side. He can't wait 4 more fights to fight for a title.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Yeah, he'll deteriorate. He knows his body better than anyone, and he probably realizes like I got a year or two tops.
Damn, I love Wonderboy, but
Hey man, they're getting old. Some of
thing
our
is, bro, both these guys respect the shit out of each other, which I'm a big fan of too. How do you think it goes?
obviously I would want to root for Wonderboy,
If we
and I'm
see
not.
Wonderboy and Tony retire back to back, if we see Josh Emmett to Tony to Stephen Wonderboy back to back to back retire,
Oh, dude, no, dude. I saw this thing on Twitter, and it was someone talking about their nightmare scenario for UFC 296. In order, if this all happened, I probably would need to like call off work. If Bryce Mitchell gets starched, if Paddy absolutely just dogs Tony in a boring decision, if Shavkat absolutely brutalizes Wonderboy, and if Colby gets like boring decisioned into a loss, like Leon wins from a boring decision, I will literally kill myself. I will be distraught. I would be like, I cannot believe not a single.
imagine making it worse. Kelleher knocks out Cody and he retires too.
Oh my god.
That would be, oh man, that'd be hard to watch.
Yeah. Clocks on the stove, worst day of the year award. This weekend.
Yeah, Saturday if that happens.
Yeah,
But
worst day
back,
of
back to the fight. Who are you taking in this one?
Dude, I gotta take Shavkat, man. He's what?
It's just so much safer.
Decision in every fight. Dude, he dominates.
No,
He
he
literally,
finishes almost every fight.
yeah, he dominates, dude. He dominates. Like he's a problem in all aspects of his game. Now, some parts of his game could use some work because like I feel like the higher he gets in this division, he's gonna see better strikers than him naturally. But his ground game and clinch work is like top of the line, dude. Like that dude puts a beating on so many people.
Yeah, Wonderboy's got to starch him. That's
I
the only shot he has is to clean his clock.
I think I'll cry tears of joy if Wonderboy knocks him out with like a roundhouse or
Maybe
a reverse heel kick.
Yeah, something crazy.
He pulls out the Luke Rockhold and tornado kicks him in the face.
Yeah, it's just safer to say Shavkat, dude. I don't know if he finishes Wonderboy because Wonderboy's super hard to finish.
I think he taps him. I think he taps him.
I don't know, dude. Steven's he's only been finished, I think, once, and it was by Anthony Pettis.
I think he gets submitted. Unfortunately.
It's gonna be heartbreaking. But let's get to the two big fights. Our co-main event, flyweight world title on the line between Alexander Pantoja, 26-5-0, our champion, just took the belt from a split decision against Brandon Moreno. Had one of the hardest post-fight speeches ever. Like, do you know me now, Dad? You love me now, Dad? Because Dad left him when he was a kid, and I was the champion of the world. That's hard. He's fighting. He's coming in at minus 190, fighting our underdog coming in at 160. Brandon Royval, whatever the fuck you want to say. He's 15-6-0. He's on a little tear recently as well. This fight is interesting because I don't know too much about these guys. I know Pantoja's been on a little tear. His only loss was Askarov. And Royval, I've watched him fight a couple times, but I don't have like a huge background on him. But I do know his last two losses were Pantoja and Brandon Moreno. So, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. He, got 2 finishes and beat Matt Chanel, which is a good win as well. It's just I don't know too much about these guys' game. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the flyweight division was really carried by Figueredo, Brandon Moreno, and Kai Kara France for a little bit, and Askarov. So I don't really have too much knowledge. I know Pantoja already has the win over him, and he's a vet. So if I had to give a pick, I'm gonna go with the champion just because I'm more familiar with this game. But either way, these guys are both super scrappy and have super good endurance, so it's gonna be a banger of a fight. But I think Pantoja edges it out.
Uh dude, I feel like my biggest problem with the flyweight division is they don't have any like solidified stars that are like as renowned in the UFC community. I feel like they would have benefited a little bit more if they had more of a title run, like a guy that went on runs. But the fact that they
Like
like
if they didn't let go of Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. But the problem, dude, the problem is like DJ would have absolutely just ran through that division for so. I mean, him and Henry probably would have gone back to back a lot.
Nah, Henry was done. He went up right away. He didn't want to fight at 25 anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, dude. Like, honestly, Demetrius Johnson would have made it so boring that no one would have watched it. Like, it would have been like DJ's just gonna absolutely.
Dude, it's so hard because you like, because like for a martial, like a true martial arts fan, you're like, dude, like this is awesome. But like to everyone else, like this guy sucks to watch. He beats everybody.
Yeah. No. When you are at the peak of your sport, your fights look boring. Your fights look boring. Like the only reason wild exchanges happen and like shit you can't predict and like exciting is because someone made a mistake. If you fight perfect, you take no damage and you literally finish the person in front of you. That is perfect fighting. You train because you know you're gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I feel like with DJ, like when he landed a flying armbar in a fight and they called it the mousetrap, like game over. That should have been that should have been game over right there. They should have been like, we're never signing this guy to another fight again because no one will watch.
Yeah,
and
we're
if
just
we
gonna
do,
pay
it's
him money.
sanctioned
We're just gonna pay him money to be champ.
Yeah, it's just it's sanctioned bullying for what he does to fighters. He had to go to a league where they were like, yeah, you can knee a guy in the face when he's on the floor. He got caught. He got caught. In the UFC, Mariah would have been suspended.
Yeah.
So
Mariah's a dog, though. He is a dog.
Oh, 100%. But it like by UFC rules, Demetrius Johnson would never lose.
Never.
Never ever. That's just my opinion.
But who do you have winning this fight?
For the sake of some sanity in the division, I want to go for Pantoja. However, if we just want full chaos, I feel like they should just go in order of everyone getting the belt. Like if everyone has the belt, yeah, maybe honestly it's just the opposite of the featherweight division, and that's why I don't like it. It's like actually literally everyone can beat everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know who the
obvious. Yeah, they do not have a solidified like hammer in their weight.
Yeah, no, not at all, and that's bad. Everyone needs a hammer.
You think the UFC doesn't like that too? Like they want to face the weight class?
Yes and no, because if you have too many faces, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
They don't have like our flyweight champion. Like they have Pantoja, which is cool, but he just got it.
Yeah, but honestly, it's kind of hard to identify like the drawbacks from it. Like I guess you do need a face of every division. But the problem is like if you have a clear and solidified face of every division, there's no watching with the intent of like, oh, we're gonna have a new champ. It's like, no, we know who the champs are every time. The champs never change. It'll be like this.
I feel like the superstar is what makes them money.
Everyone can't be a superstar.
Well played.
What did Sinestro say in the Invincibles? He goes, if everyone's super, then no one's super.
Yeah.
No.
Where did you pull that out of nowhere?
You my dog. You got me monologuing.
Oh, man. But let's get to the real reason we are here. The UFC Welterweight Championship of the World. Leon Rocky Edwards, which is so weird to me because Rocky's literally American. 21-3-0. The welterweight champion of the world fighting out of the UK. He's the favorite, which is shocking to me at -160. He's fighting the biggest villain in the fight game, Colby. Does he have a nickname? Colby
Chaos Covington.
Colby Chaos Covington. Triple C. He is the 17-3-0 plus 135. Sometimes I'm a Colby fan. Sometimes I'm not. The way he fights, big fan. He just drowns you with volume. Huge fan. Like that's how I want to fight. But it's so hard to back a guy that says the stuff he says. And listen, I understand that technically everything's fine in the fight game because, like, yeah, he's saying mean words that suck, but at the end of the day, he's going to get locked into a cage and try to kill you. That's a lot worse. But at the same time, I'm also a big believer in being who you are. And that's like why I was such a Cowboy fan, such a George St. Pierre fan. The guys like Max Holloway, like they're just who they are, and that's what made them big. But I also understand that the UFC made Colby. You know, they basically did that to him. It's just it makes it really hard to like him. And I know a lot of guys have trained with him. I know a lot of people have met him, and he's the dopest guy in the world. But that's just how it is. Leon, on the other hand, someone I used to hate. I used to not like Leon at all, and he has done nothing but grown on me, dude. You know, the comeback fight against Usman, beating Usman the second time, which should have been a draw because he got a point deducted. Um, and his whole story back, like he is awesome. And he's a super humble guy, super nice guy. Supposedly knocked out Ian Garry in fight camp.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard because you already know that whole arena is going to be for Colby. That every person in T-Mobile Arena is going to be for Colby Covington. So he's going to be fighting in dark waters. I'm going to let you talk before I get my pick.
Look, my only issue with Colby is like before he blew up, like he was about to get cut by the UFC, and how he acted back then just isn't how he acts now. Like it's so obvious it's a media like personality. The only problem is I think he's fully come to accept that there are consequences with this personality that he carries. So I feel like he's aware of that. But I was talking to you the other day about this earlier. Like the way he fights, like isn't what I would imagine a guy like his media personality fights. Like I feel like he kind of be like a cheap, do whatever it takes to win. But like, no, when he fought Usman, he didn't even try to wrestle. He did not even try to wrestle. He was like, we're gonna stand in the middle of the ring for 5 rounds and we're just gonna throw hands.
He did get a takedown in the second fight they didn't call, but it was 1,000% a takedown.
Yeah, 100%. But they had to keep that. Usman's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And then Leon put him to his fucking back.
Yeah. In college, you're yelling two. But regardless, look, honestly, I think ever since Leon became champ, he got a little chip on his shoulder, and I gotta respect it. Like you're the champ, you can kind of carry yourself how you want. I just don't personally like it that much. Whereas Colby, like, I feel like this is one of the fights that I probably heard the least out of him leading up to the media day. He was very like he wasn't as active on social media. Like I feel like in his mind, because like when he was talking shit to Usman, it was like a all right, like it's about a 50-50 fight. Like he may win, I may win. Like I'll just try to get in his head. But when he's fighting this upcoming bout, I feel like he knows in his mind, he's like, I just need to do what I have to do and I'll be champion. So he's not really worried about all the excess shit right now.
I feel like this card as a whole was not promoted well at all. Like I didn't even know it was this weekend until I texted you on Monday about what we were gonna do for our pod.
Yeah.
I feel like it was not promoted well at all. I do agree with you too. Colby's been a little more silent than usual. But yeah, like I said, overall, the only really things I've been hearing about this card was the Tony and Goggins and Colby and not Colby and Ian Garry. So like this card as a whole, I feel like hasn't been promoted well. Also, Usman didn't give a shit about the shit talking Colby does. It's getting to Leon. And we saw that tonight in the presser. Leon threw the water bottle at him. And I know it sounds stupid to say that means something. And it's like that, it's not the act of him throwing the water bottle, it's the act of him responding to the roast.
Yeah.
And you see Colby smile. He's like, because he knows. That's bad. You cannot fight emotional. Look what happened to Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo was 1,000% a better fighter than Conor McGregor when they fought. I'll die.
Everyone and their mother had Jose Aldo winning.
I'll die. I'll die on that grave. But he got in his head.
Jose Aldo hadn't lost a fight, what?
Like in like 8 or 9 years. There was like 12, it was like 11 years and he got knocked out in 12 seconds.
13. But yeah, 12 years of never losing a fight. And this man literally goes into your own home, severely shit talks you, and baptizes you in 13 seconds. And everyone thought you were going to win. And you got too aggressive, caught your ass. Good night.
But that's all right. So let's get to this prediction because I just keep bouncing back and forth. I see this fight going 2 ways, and then I'll let you say what you think, and then I'll give which way I think it's going to go. I don't know which way is more likely. I'm just going to see it 2 ways. I think Leon goes out there. Colby gets shut down his wrestling in the first round. It frustrates him, and then Leon picks him apart and maybe even finishes him. That's what I see. Because Colby cannot stand a strike. Colby needs the volume. He needs the tidal wave of pressure. Or I see the volume drowning Leon and Colby just smothers him. So I think the first round is going to be the most important round of the whole fight. I think we're going to see if Colby has his way with them, or if he shuts down 2 or 3 Colby's shots and then gets in Colby's head and he's like, shit, dude, like I don't know what to do now. And he just slowly picks him apart from the outside.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I have a very weird feeling that Colby is going to win via TKO. in my opinion.
Colby doesn't finish people, bro.
I know.
I can't name one person Colby's finished.
I'm aware, but the only thing that keeps playing back in my head is Nate Diaz rocking Leon.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen. Like, dude, I don't know, man. It's very weird, but like,
Then he points at him, bro. That shit was so cold.
yeah. And oh my god, I could just see a similar instance because, like, especially with how like probably emotional that Leon's gonna be coming into this fight, bro. Like, you try to fight with that rage, like you just need to get caught like one time, and it's over, man. Do we know who the referee for these fights are gonna be yet? Like, do we know who's reffing what?
I know Herb Dean's gonna be there.
Hold on. UFC.
Do they have that announced already this far out?
I believe so.
Yeah.
They're not judges, they're what, refs? Main event will be Sal D'Amato, Derek Clearly, and Chris Lee. As for co-main event, where Alexander Pantoja takes on Brandon Royval. Oh, wait. Oh, Mark Goddard.
So if he dies, he dies.
You think Mark Goddard lets it go?
I don't know, but I had Keith No Nonsense Peterson. That was pretty cool.
That was the most random thing
Yeah.
in the entire world.
And I call you, I'm like, dude, Keith Peterson's reffing my fight.
I cornered your fight. So
Yeah. It was a weird whole thing.
oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying to find who the judges will. Herb Dean. Herb Dean will be the main event. Herb. Hey, that man's fought, you know. That man's been
a gangster.
That man's been through it. Oh god. But
But
regardless,
if I had a gun in my head and I had to pick, I think
Colby.
the easy answer is Colby, but dude, Leon, man.
Colby.
I'm gonna say if I had a gun to my head, I'd put my money on Colby.
I'm doing it. It's the American in me.
But Leon, yeah. Dude, if Sean Strickland, Sugar Sean, and Colby all became champ in 2023.
Oh, it'll be if that happens.
Donald Trump's winning presidency. There's no shot. Donald Trump
with the Affinity Stones. We're done. Shane Gillis is the best comic. It's over.
We got them all, boys.
Oh, wait. The fifth Infinity Stone. Alabama wins a national championship. It's officially the most redneck.
It's DT's year, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But Zach, your final prediction taking Colby TKO. That's ballsy.
I mean, gun to my head, I'm just saying Colby gets it done. I don't care about, but I'm just saying, like, I'm having visions. Like the guy in the car that's like Donald Trump, if you can hear us, please. Colby Covington, if you can hear this, please. Knock out Rocky. By the way, I feel like I have to address this. I know I dunk on the city of Philadelphia a lot, and I'm going to again. You have a statue in your city of a fictional character because that's the only likable part about your city. Why?
A fictional character.
If imagine you pulled up to Notre Dame's campus and Rudy was a statue.
Rudy was real.
Oh my god. Okay, I have a better one. Imagine like the school that like supposedly Remember the Titans takes place of. There's just a statue of Denzel Washington with an afro just out front. Rudy is real.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. But before we wrap it up, Zach, what do you want to do our draft on?
What do I want to do our draft on?
Recent drafts I did with my homies. We did states to live in. We also did cartoon shows.
Any sports related ones? Can we think about the top of our head? Excuse you.
Thank you.
Mm.
I can't.
Let
Put me
me-
on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Draft.
Um, how about athletes we've hated the most growing up?
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. I could easily do a top 5 athletes I hate. 100%.
Yeah, I could too.
100%.
You want
Okay,
to do
yeah,
that?
yeah,
All right, I just got to think who would be number one.
yeah. Who was my clear? Like when I grew up, I was like, I hate this guy.
Can it be athlete or coach?
Yes. Let's just say sports figure. Most
All right,
hated.
all right. My number one most hated sports figures are Meyer.
Okay.
Urban Meyer. As a kid, I never wanted to watch anyone lose more than I wanted Urban Meyer to lose every single time he ever played, or ever coached.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My number one, my opinion of him has changed over time, but growing up, I hated Alex Rodriguez for the
No,
life.
really.
Because watching him grow up on the Yankees, I mean, dude, he was, first of all, he's a god, and he's
Yeah.
hitting bombs against my favorite team. And he would just always be like the douchebag of the league, but had such a good post career. I honestly, Jeter is up there, but I feel like I respected Jeter a lot more, and then I hated him more post career.
Yeah.
But A-Rod growing up, like I was like, dude, I can't stand you. I could not stand him.
Trying to think of like teams I hated. I hated Anderson Silva so much because I thought George St. Pierre was the GOAT, and I was such a George St. Pierre like fanboy that I couldn't stand. So I wanted to lose every single fight. I'd watch every one of his fights just hoping you'd lose. And I thought Chael had it. I thought Chael had it, bro.
Ah, dude, Anderson was a goat though.
Yeah, he was GOAT for sure. But I didn't appreciate it when I was a kid because I only wanted George St. Pierre.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to switch my tune more because I think it's harder to think of guys I hated growing up because I feel like I've grown to hate a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. Because I used to not like Cam Newton and John Jones, and as I got older, I mean, I'm talking about John Jones as an athlete, of course.
Yes.
I've started to like them more as I grow up.
Okay. My number 2 right now, he's jumped up to my number 2 recently. I actually used to like him growing up a lot, but now I just can't stand his guts. Kirk Herbstreit, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh my
follow
god.
you up with an immediate follow up, and I'd actually put this guy at my number two now. I only said Anderson Silva because that's what came to my mind. Paul Feinbaum. He actually might be my number one. He might be my number one.
Who is your number 1 again?
Urban Meyer. But honestly, I think it might be Paul Feinbaum as an emotional hate.
So we have Urban Meyer, Anderson Silva, and Paul Finnbaum.
Dude, I feel like there's a big one I can't think of right now.
And then for me, I have. Sorry, I'm trying to get these down on our notes. So apologize for our audio listeners who just see me like having a brain fart. My number one was. Why can't I think of my number 1?
Your number one was Alex Rodriguez.
Yes, it was Alex Rodriguez.
And your number two is Kirk Herbstreit, and now you're on number three right now.
Yeah. I just had my third and it just escaped me. Holy shit.
It's a big one I can't remember right now. That's upsetting.
Yeah, I know. I literally just had it when I was thinking about these. Damn. Dude, I literally just had it and now I can't think of it. Oh, Eli Manning. Eli Manning.
Oh, that makes sense. You're a Patriots fan, yeah.
Yeah, I watched him. First of all, ever since I saw this, I believe it to be 100% factual and I can't get it out of my mind. I think Eli Manning was quite literally too stupid to understand the magnitude of the game situations he was in. That was the only way he was able to win those games. He was physically too stupid.
Yeah, he didn't think about it. He just was like, oh.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm playing 17-0, most dominant football team of all time. I'm just gonna win the game.
That's how it is. Like some kids I wrestle, bro. Like them being dumb makes them better at wrestling. because they don't get super nervous. They don't really think about what they're doing. They kind of just like go out there and just do the motions.
It's empty. It's empty. You can't get a read on them. There's no
Yeah,
thought.
like you can't Colby Covington because they're just like, okay.
Yeah. Like I feel like Shavkat has that look in his eyes. Like Shavkat's always just like,
He's like, I just want to fight people, man.
what do you think about armbar?
He said his favorite animal is a horse, and his favorite animal to eat is a horse.
Yes. Horse tastes good.
Yeah. All right, come on, let's do this. It's really upsetting me. I can't think of more because I'm such a hater.
We all
Give me at number 4. Give me Michigan athletics. Just give me
give me at least a figure. Give me a figure of Michigan.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Give me JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy will be the trophy for the Clocks on the Stove Doucher of the Year award.
It's just JJ McCarthy.
My number 4, Alex Rodriguez, Kirk Herbstreit, Eli Manning. God, who do I physically hate in sports? Like who just hits? Because the problem is I'm trying to think of guys I don't respect that I hate, but the problem is there's a lot of guys that I hate to love and I love to hate.
There's a lot of guys that I hated when I was a kid, and as I got older, I understood why they did what they did or why they were how they were.
Yeah. Like me loving Pereira doesn't make
I got one.
Me loving Pereira doesn't make me an Izzy hater, but I feel like people always say I'm an Izzy hater, but I'm like, dude, I respect the shit out of Izzy.
Oh, no, I'm gonna lose it.
My number 4 right now is probably gonna be Khabib.
I could put Khabib on my too, honestly.
I respect the shit out of the dude, but just for the fact that he beat McGregor, like that hurt me so much.
Like if he didn't exist, the lightweight division would have been so lit. It would have been McGregor fighting Chandler and Dustin and Gaethje. Like that whole run would have been lit.
Yeah. Oh my god. And he just had to ruin it. He just had to ruin it.
My number 5 is we're 5 right now. I'm going Marcus Mariota.
You're going Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, when he was at Oregon, I fucking hated him.
Yeah, that's factual. That is actually factual. Cannot deny you one bit on that at all. Actually, that's super factual. I hated
him. Mariota. How he won the Heisman over Melvin Gordon and Christian McCaffrey makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A player that I grew to hate. Oh my god.
I'm trying to think. There's like another big one. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's like I feel like I'm missing
two. There's like 2 that I remember like just like never wanting to talk to the rest of my life, and I cannot get them in my noggin.
Oh. Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred.
That sounds so familiar.
Commissioner of the MLB. I would slap.
Yeah. Honestly, my honorable mention is Draymond Green.
Really?
I can't stand him.
Really?
I can't stand him.
Oh, honestly, my honorable mention would probably be Steph Curry. I could not.
No way.
Look, he has done nothing wrong for me to hate against him. Done absolutely nothing. But I knew I was a hater. Like I knew I was a hater the day the like news broke of like him and Aisha like having trouble. Like I was like, yeah, fuck this guy. It's kind of like the people that like hated on Jalen Hurts. They're like, oh fuck this attractive motherfucker. Like be like, what the fuck am I supposed to think? I feel like my hatred was in the same way. Like it was more like envy and jealousy. And I was like, I just need something to say bad about this guy, but there's nothing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Like I know how people feel about Colby because they're waiting for something. They're like, at least they can call out like his comments and be like, oh, he's a piece of shit human, yada yada. But like for Jalen Hurts or Steph Curry, there's nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
They're just super confident when they play. Like I don't personally like the way they like shut off in their career. But like at the same time, I feel like the only reason I didn't like it as much was because they were winning so often. Like when Steph Curry was like winning rings with KD, I was like, this is so unfair. Like I feel like God needs to come like intervene like in drastic ways.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. I hated the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, couldn't stand it. When LeBron came back 3-1, that cemented me as like
I
the
mean,
big
they definitely rigged it for that to happen. I'm a huge believer in that.
nah. You
Yeah,
can't rig. You
they
can rig reffing. You
they
can.
suspended Draymond Green for a game. Yeah, it was all weirdly put together.
All I'm saying is, I feel like the only way you can actually impact games is through refereeing them, trying to regulate them. Like I feel like certain flags get thrown in the NFL, and I feel like it was called out in the NBA back when the Kings played the Lakers, because I believe the Lakers went to a line like a record-setting amount of times in like Game 6 of the playoffs, so that the Lakers could advance. I'm pretty sure. You can double check me on this, but I'm like almost 99% sure. So they already got caught for that. So I feel like the NBA doesn't try as much, but they definitely I feel like there's definitely games where you'd notice it more. Like they're calling more travelings, like they're calling turning flagrant ones and flagrant twos. Like they're trying to get in there, fix some scores a little bit, but they don't directly tell the players like, dude, if there was a script or if it was rigged, you're telling me Antonio Brown would not have come out and said something by now. The dude has put his own penis on the internet. Let's get real. Let's get real.
And you haven't?
What do you mean by that? Hey,
Well,
all I'm saying is,
what? On that.
no, all I'm saying is Chandler Jones thinks Larry Fitzgerald is trapped inside
It's not his dog.
and you're telling me that man didn't leak a script?
Yeah.
That man didn't leak a script. Come on.
Zach, any final words before we go to bed?
Final words. Lose weight for anyone watching. I feel like a lot of times growing up, we've been taught too much to love one another. I think we need to bring back a little bullying, and I think I need to be an advocate for that. So I'm going to start by bullying. I'm not going to call them fat people. You may or may not be fat, but lose some weight, Tubby.
Yeah, especially people that aren't like they weren't like born big, people that are only big because they don't do shit. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Or
Some people are born big, like
or
genetically.
yeah, or the people out there that did a lot of athletics in high school and it kept them in shape, and now they're just kind of like not working as hard anymore. I'll admit I was one of those people, but I've been in the gym as of late.
Yeah, but you have the Watts build.
Yes, but I cannot let the Watts genes carry me.
Yeah, you can't. It's good in your 20s and 30s. Once you hit 40, it's hard to fight.
Yeah. Beanies and weenies ain't a steady diet. That.
UFC 296.
Yeah.